And then I had a crew of dancers, Innocent Intentions. Before we did anything, though, we would have to watch Soul Train. Even our rival dancers, Soul Brothers was our rivals at the time. They were Def Jeff's dancers, but because they were on Delicious Vinyl, they would dance with Young MC too. So they were like our rivals, and they were on Soul Train. And so everybody knew that we had to be on Soul Train because it gave you that dancer validation.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mute your mic, V. Your mic's muted.
No.
There you go.
He said we were rivals.
Exactly. So I wanted to start the show.
You watched her back. Really not understanding, so I need to break it down to you instead because you don't get it. I
know, crazy up in the background, Cuddy.
Oh, let me get this out. I'm sorry about that.
For the 100th time, me and Drew were on a break. You understand? You get it?
But yeah, start that off. I wanted to hear different stories. You did always hear about the, the top dogs, the Scoops, the Fendies, Afro and Salimas, Soul Brothers. But there's other great cats out there. And today, I want to bring on this cat. I don't know if you connected yet.
Can you connect it?
Hold on. His mic ain't connected. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, that's you. Are you texting Frankie?
Yeah, we're texting my name.
Out there, hip hop dance stories. You're not having difficulties. But we're just getting stuff together. Oh, all right.
What does he need? What am I telling him?
Let's call him live.
Yo.
Your device not connected, Cuddy.
Your what?
Your device is not connected.
I know. It says your browser is blocked and mic, camera, edit your browser settings. Stream.
Yeah, take off the pop-up blocker, bro. Shot.
Take what?
Take off the pop-up blocker.
It says allow.
What do you mean?
You got a pop-up blocker on your browser.
I don't know how to take that off. How do you do that?
You go up there to the top. Where it say pop-up blockers, a security. Ain't that it, D-Love?
Yeah, it should have put him on. It should have asked him that when he went there. Huh?
Your mic went out, V.
You hear me?
I can't hear you, bro. Shot. It says on now. It says it's on.
Yeah.
But I can't hear you. No.
What the hell?
It's on. Yeah, you're not connected, Frankie B. You doing it from your phone or your computer?
From my phone.
Oh, why is it doing that then?
Yeah, it should have went straight to it.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Fuck, maybe I need to do it from my computer because my
Yeah,
phone
let me reconnect.
I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen with a phone before. Yeah. But yeah, try to come on, Cuddy. If not, we'll call you.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, now fix yours, V.
I'm gonna reconnect.
You hit something, bro, Shot. Okay. So, hip-hop dance stories. Who we got in the house? Shot. Super DJ Manslaughter Man. DJ Super Manslaughter Man. My bad. Yeah, we're going to get Frankie D on in a minute. Let's see what V doing.
You hear me?
Nope.
What the hell?
What you did, Cuddy Mac? You was loud and clear. You was loud and clear.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
I know what to do.
Hope you're having a good, safe Memorial Day weekend shot. We're going to get it in. Hip-hop dance stories, technical difficulties.
Damn.
We got more people up in the house. I'll chat with you. We got some other things on the plate. We're going to start doing another show. Hip-hop on the big screen. Reviewing all dance. You can hear both of us? Oh, yeah, he can hear you, V.
Oh.
Audience can hear you. I can't hear you, though.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You say you hear us good. Yeah, it's coming through on my computer.
Oh, yeah. Grim say he hears us good. What up, Grim? What up, Cuddy? Yeah, for some reason I can't hear you, V. Let me see.
You hear me now?
Yeah, it was the Bluetooth tripping.
Okay.
Hold on. Get it back on. Yep. So what up, bro? Shot.
Oh, cool, man. I had a good time last night.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. That was
all house only. You don't play no other selections?
They need to. But then, you know, that's the Soul Nick is usually all house. But they changed it over to Utopia, the name. But yeah, they have some there's a lot of people opening their clubs back up right now. So
yeah, because homie when he used to DJ around the corner, he played like more selections, you know?
Yeah, he did.
He switched it up.
Yeah, at least he would play some funk and some Michael. He plays some other stuff. I'll be tripping off that how they do that. Like, I don't know though. I think every club, it doesn't matter if they specialize in music, they should play a little of something of everything if they got it in there. You know,
man, as they should.
I mean, I love house, but dang,
man. And see, that's cold because I don't like it at all.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, I don't dislike the vibe of it, but I like to cool out when that's on. For some reason,
it got some of it. A lot of times, it got that energy to people. You feel me? Like there's a whole crew of people that just love to listen to it.
Yeah, like some of it's good.
Yeah. Did you
like more the Chicago style house? I like that.
I don't think that dude was from LA that Masai was battling.
No, that shit was like a movie though. It was like they set it up when they started sashaying from side to side.
And Legend said, "This is interesting."
Hey Grim, you know what's crazy, Kenny? I'm talking to Grim like he go talk back and shit. I was like, "Hey Grim, hey Asiatic Supreme, you know what's crazy, Cuddy? Like how world be just trying to see how like my author life and my dance life be like, you know, intermingling and shit, right? My man S Mac from Kev Mac Videos, bro, that's my little homie's godfather. I've been seeing that nigga for years and never compared him to, you know, the 60 S Mac. You know what I'm saying? Just a cool cat. You know what I'm saying? And I saw him on that documentary AMPM was on. And I was like, damn, I was just with homeboy on Christmas. And I was like, wow. So like all these years, I never knew he was that guy. Ain't that shit crazy, V?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You could be walking. I said you could walk down the same street, Cuddy, and have like at the same time and have two different journeys going on at the same time, Brody.
Somebody was telling me the other day. Well, it wasn't the other day. It was maybe like a year ago, year or two, maybe 2 years ago. I was at one of the, the same people that's DJing that night. Last night, I was at one of their functions, and one of the homies up there, his son was Blueface.
That's what I told you. Yeah. The little
and he was telling me, he said, I always talk to Legend. He was like, my son is Blueface. He was like, I was like, dang.
This what got me, V. I'm talking
that was a hell of a connection.
Talking to the young Cuddies. So I like to ask them, who the new cats are. So I'm like, yo, man, who's this dude Blueface I'm reading about? They was like, come on, Cuddy, you was just with his dad yesterday. I was like, word? Yeah, I was like, word? Who was that? Because he be hanging out with Boo Capone.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I know homie shot. Wow. Like, damn, we getting up there now.
Yeah, we getting up there. We got parents. We know the parents of the rappers.
I didn't even know, and I was with him like all day that day.
Soon we gonna know the grandparents of the rappers.
Woo, man.
That's crazy. Where Franky D at? He ain't figured it out.
I don't know, man. We're gonna get him live then. Let's see what we're gonna do, Franky D. Who we got up there?
Small world. What's up, Grimace?
Yeah, small world, Grim. That shit is crazy, Cuddy.
Yo, Grim, you talk to Sean Nice?
Yeah, you talking to him like he gonna talk back too. I was waiting for him to answer and shit.
I be with Sean all the time. That's why I was like, yo, man, you need to come out here by the hood because we all over here.
Yeah, my main dude, T. Reese shot. I used to coach his son, Chai, and that's Max's godfather shot. But yeah, he's always at he's at the games and everything.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Grim say, no, where is Sean Nice? Sean Nice is chilling.
Sean Nice is from me. Yeah, he'll be online. He usually get on.
Now says he in love.
No, he
Sean ain't in love? What?
No. I think Sean got like a couple on deck right now.
What?
A couple of them on deck. He usually is in love, huh?
Yeah, Sean be in love, okay. Chilling.
Seth.
Playing that nice role. Chicks be eating that shit up back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure with that curly hair.
Yeah.
And they can put all that stuff in it and have it all shining.
Yeah. He said, John got issues.
He used to hang with Sean. Remember Sean Good Enough?
Yeah, see, I used to always hear his name, but I came like towards the tail end of his journey.
Sean Good Enough, Grimace.
Yeah, I used to hear his name all the time. So is Sean Good Enough, is that the one that used to dance with Filipino Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm confused. I thought it was a nigga named Jeff. Or was they all in his name?
Jeff danced with, I think he danced with Innocence, right?
Jeff?
Who was the white dude with the Innocence?
That was Rick.
Rick, yeah.
He do salsa now.
Oh, he do?
Last night.
I heard he fired.
Huh?
I heard he dope at that shit.
On the salsa? Yeah, his name ringing over there, man. He in like all the big clubs and shit.
That nigga Skibby seeing him?
Yup. It's crazy too. That's how I got in the whole TV game working on this salsa show called Love and Salsa. It never came out.
That nigga said Love and Salsa, like the Love and Hip Hop.
But Brody, Brody was way before that. and it never came out. But she still be shopping that shit. That's what I learned. They never stop shopping your shows, no matter how old they get. So whatever show they pick up, you try to throw that one in there too.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's when I jumped on that dwarf show, Little People, Big World.
Yeah, he said Jeff, Matt, Sean. They're all the Naughty Boys. Yeah, remember Naughty Boys?
Okay. I think we got action. Oh, we got action. So let's get it started.
Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Grand Imperial. The Imperial. He claims to be the funkiest white man alive.
Wow.
Now, we all in hip-hop say it's Ric Flair, but he challenges that title every year. So I got to give him props because he wants that title. He going to get it. So without further ado, Franky D.
Cuddy salute. What's going on, y'all?
Franky Dizzy.
So we're gonna start on it since we already Cuddy Mackin. We're gonna start by giving you 4 Cuddy Mack stripes for having Tom Hanks do the no-look Cuddy pose with the finger extended. But we're gonna take away 8 for not telling us. That right there puts you way up there, Franky D. That right there puts you up there with Mike Bivens.
Damn.
Yeah, Kevin, you never told us, Brody. Why are you leaving out pieces of history?
Dude, I told you guys. I did Charlie Wilson's War. Tony Basil gave me that job.
Brody, you never said you had Tom Hanks doing the no-look pose, Cuddy, with the finger. That's like the nicest smooth video. They had every rapper, Grandmaster Flash, hitting the Cuddy finger.
Yeah. Everybody doing
it. Like that's the same level. And you see how nice and smooth Sword and Cuddy Mackin. They went from here to here.
Damn.
Cuddy, so you up there now, bro shot. That's faithful, Cuddy. That's Forrest Gump was a Cuddy Mack, Brody.
Damn.
At least for a minute.
Yeah. What's funny about that job is that it was the first time I've ever been on a Paramount lot where I could pull my truck into the lot next to my trailer. My trailer was next to Tom Hanks. It was pretty fucking crazy because usually I had to park outside of the studios, Universal, Raleigh, Paramount. I had to park outside and be shuttled back in or walk a long distance. I was able to drive on the lot, and that movie was an Academy Award winner or nominee. I don't know, but I was stoked to have gotten it. I still get like $3 residuals and shit for that job. It's like so old.
So you had the spot, like when you pull in Paramount Gate and just go left.
Yeah. Pulled on, and I could pull up right next to my trailer, and I had a crazy ass trailer. It was the only first and only time.
Our boy Chris Spencer had that spot when he was doing Real Husbands of Hollywood. Man, I was so happy for him. He had the prime spot. That's that Eddie Murphy spot, Cuddy.
Yeah, exactly. I was super. That shit was classic.
Cool. So take us back, big love. Let's go.
Okay, I talk to you every day, every other day.
Right.
We always, we family.
Right.
There's one thing I never knew. You told me about your travels and stuff of, back and forth to LA. We're going to get to those too. But where did you grow up at, and what started you dancing from what age and where, you know what I'm saying? I want to know, because you the master of all the dances. You can add Franky to do any dance and he can do it. So I just wanted to ask you, what started you? Who inspired you, or what inspired you to start really dancing? Did it start in your early days, or did this come as you
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Born in Northridge Hospital. My father was in entertainment, so I was moving all around North Hollywood, Studio City, Sherman Oaks. I moved around a lot. And then my father retired in the mid-70s. We drove across the country to meet my mom's side of the family. And we spent like 2 years out there, came back, moved back to San Fernando. We stayed there for a few months. Then we ended up in San Clemente. And that was in 1977. And then I moved out of San Clemente in 1985. Now, what started me dancing? I come from a bossa nova background. My father was one of the bossa nova greats with Joe Beam and Sergio Mendes. So I came from samba and bossa nova. So I was constantly in that, you know. But I was a closet dancer for most of my life. Like I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be in a rock band. And I think I was 11 years old. My dad took me to a music shop. And he made me so nervous. And he was saying, get on the piano. And I get on the piano and he's like, oh, you're no good. You're no good. You can't play. Get on the guitar. And I get on the guitar. And he's like, oh, you're not good at that. You know, he made me nervous. So anyway, I used to draw my instruments. Like I used to draw Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix and Peter Frampton. I used to actually draw the guitars, the double necks. And I used to put them on measuring sticks, you know, like you know, the ruler things, the big long ruler, like measuring yardsticks, right? And right. I used to tape them on there, and I used to pretend like I was Jimmy Page or Jimi Hendrix, and I used to emulate everything I saw on TV. You know, I'm talking about when I was young, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, and I used to imitate Soul Train, Tom and Jerry, Singing in the Rain. I mean, Michael Jackson was like really close to my age. He was only like 5 or 6 years older. So I grew up watching everything he did, everything, the cartoons, and then the Six Malt Liquor Bowl commercials, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it was, now let's fast forward to when I was 13, I was punk rock. Hardcore punk rock, Black Flag, TSOL, Dead Kennedys. I was hardcore, dog collars, spiked hair, fucking barbed wire around my my boots, the whole nine, right? And it was 1980 when I was in a roller rink in San Clemente, where I was from, and I would skateboard the opposite way of everybody. Everybody was roller skating this way. I would go the opposite way on my skateboard, doing 360s and slides and shit. And I heard don't. I was like, what the fuck is this disco shit? I'm like, you know, I'm getting mad. All of a sudden I hear a hip, a hop, a hibbit, and a hibbit, a hip hop. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And then I've always loved rap, not knowing what it was, because country people used to use rap, you know, like I won't stop drinking if you don't stop driving that hot rod Lincoln and stuff like that. Blowfly and stuff like that. So I was familiar with that.
Yeah.
So when that came on, I was like, oh wow. All of a sudden, and then comes the thing about the chicken. He said, you ever went to a friend's house to eat and the food just ain't no good?
The famous line.
I had just went through that 3 days before. And it was like they were talking to me. Like the chicken tastes like wood. I mean, and all that. I had to go to the DJ. I go, what the fuck is that shit that you're playing? He goes, oh, it's this new thing that just came out, Sugar Hill Gang and Rapper's Delight. So of course I had to go buy it. I followed everything after that. Now, mind you, I'm punk rock. If you guys know anything about Black Flag and TSOL and the Germs and Catholic Discipline, and so after that, punk rock started getting too violent. Like there was mosh pit.
Did you like Fishbone too?
Oh yeah, Fishbone was my boy. What's his name? Anthony. They were, you know, I'll get into that in a second. But anyway, being punk rock, it got too violent. It started getting into the skinheads, and the mosh pits were now turning into slam pits. And I wasn't really into that. And then there was this kind of like medium that would bring in reggae and punk rock together, and it was called ska. And I became a mod. You know, I was a freshman in high school, and I turned into a full-fledged mod. Now everybody goes into the stereotypical trench coats and the symbol on the back. No, we were doing baggy. Yeah, you know, but my boy Mod Todd, he was like the most modest mod I've ever known. He was my best friend in high school through all my years in San Clemente. And he was like a two-tone mod, but he was really, really, really classy in the way he dressed. And being a mod, we were with the rockabillys, we were with the punkers, the new wavers, the funksters, the breakers. We got along with everybody. Like the mods had no beef with nobody. We got along with the hair metal bands. We got, you know. So when I got 16, now up to from 13 to 18, I was training to be a pro surfer. And at that time, pro surfing was not a lucrative profession. It was more like you won contests so you could get your beer and travel money and get some free boards and some free gear. That was really about the extent of professional surfing in the early 80s. It wasn't until like Shane Beshan and Kelly Slater and that generation came into money with screw the roof. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. But anyway, I wanted to be a pro surfer. But the younger kids like Shane Beshans and Dino Andino and Archibald were ripping above and beyond anything I could do. And I sucked at contests. Like I can surf today and match anybody in the lineup, just like I am on the dance floor. It doesn't matter who's on the dance floor. I can match their energy. I might not be the best, but I can match their energy. Same thing with surfing, right? But I sucked at contests. So anyway, 16 years old, I started going to like Cloud9. I started going to like all these roller rinks and different things that had music involved, right?
Hip hop involved, right?
Well, this was before hip hop. We didn't call it hip hop.
So we still did.
We were still calling it rap. So,
rap music. Yeah.
I know 16, we're talking 1981 when I was 16. So everything was still like, you know, I don't even think Grandmaster Flash and all that was really big yet here. I can't speak for New York, but I was following everything. But the turning point for me was like, because like I said, I was mod. So I was all into the English beat, the Clash, the Specials, Madness, and all the, you know, of course, Thompson Twins and all that stuff.
Right.
But the turning point for me, I think, was when I turned 18. Oh, no, I was 19, where like I went, wow, this is what I want to get into. And it was two songs that came out at the same, like in the same time period. The first one was Rock Box from Run DMC. That dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? This shit is nasty. And then Leader of the Pack from UTFO. These two records came out at like the same time. And I was like, this is the shit. Now, just prior to that, The Message had come out, what, 83, right? 84?
You didn't like the Roxanne?
Oh, yeah, that all came out to like around that same time. Roxanne,
yeah.
Leader of the Pack, Rock Box, King of Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And then came the invasion of the delicious vinyl. But that was my pivotal point where I went, you know what? This is what I'm into. Because the mod movement had been dead. You know, it died probably around 83, 84, because all the bands were from England. We didn't have any American bands. American bands didn't come until later, to like Sublime, No Doubt, and those kind of groups. And that was way later. You know, even Nirvana was touching a little bit of the mod. But anyway, that was my turning point as far as like this thing called hip hop. But there was nothing in LA at that time. We had breakdancers, we had b-boys, we had funksters, we had the term pop lock-in, but we didn't have hip hop. Now, I got introduced to the term hip hop by your boy, who I was close to way before I knew you guys, and that was Stellis. And I met Stellis, I think it was like the end of 86. I thought it was sooner than that.
You skip it.
Huh?
Because there was an era before that where you was around the great late who? Shabba-Doo. How did you get up with
Yeah,
Shabba-Doo
that's what
and Boogaloo Shrimp?
Okay, yeah, I did. That was back when I was 16, 17. I told you I started dancing. I started going to like all the underage clubs.
Yeah.
Now there was a wannabe. Well, I can't call them wannabes. I'm sorry, guys. There was a dance crew in San Clemente. We only had like 3 black guys in our whole. I mean, I think we had like 6 black people total in my high school, and there was 2 black guys who were straight hood, afro, suspenders, the whole 9. I forgot where they were from, but San Clemente's off of a Marine base, so their family was from the Marines, but they were the coolest kids in our high school. But they were introducing us to all this what was going on in the hood. And so they started a breakdancing group called Footwork. And I thought they were the coolest fucking people in the world. And this is before breaking and all that shit came out. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is when all the pop locking groups and all that stuff, the Heckle and Jekylls and all this. Now, I'd seen all these people at Cloud 9. The first time I ever met Skeeter Rabbit was at Cloud 9, and he was tutting Crip signs. And I didn't know what Crip sign. I didn't know anything about Bloods and Crips at this time. This is 82, 83. But I just see him going, do. And I thought it was wicked. So anyway, I'm in Laguna Beach with Chris Coleman and the Jibo twins from Footwork, and Shabba-Doo, which I didn't know who he was at the time because the movie hadn't come out. And I didn't know much about the Lockers. And I remember the Big Show. So he looked familiar. I'm like, you look like somebody on TV, but I can't picture it. And he was kind of dressed normal. And the Big Show, he used to wear the zoot suits. And he was with a beautiful black girl. Beautiful, gorgeous. Like, I've never seen a girl that beautiful in any race. And it was Leela Rashad, mind you. But no one knew who she was then. But anyway, he said, you have something. There's something in you that's phenomenal, and you need to do something with it. And I just kind of went, who's this old guy trying to tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a surfer punk, dude. I ain't trying to be no fucking, you know what I'm saying? My dad was in entertainment. I didn't want nothing to do with it. So, but he kept a hold of me, and he always said, if you come to LA, come to me. So when I got 18, I was able to start going to the Palace. And Shabba-Doo used to always invite me to Palace. Now, I knew Boogaloo Shrimp and Taco, Skeeter Rabbit, Heckle and Jekylls, not Ellie City Rockers, Chain Reaction, all these groups, Wave-O-Matic, rest in peace. They were all going to Cloud 9. Cloud 9 in the early 80s was the epitome of every dancer at the time before the movies, and even when the movies came out. Like, you guys had Magic Mountain, right? That's where you guys went because it was closer to you, right? Or did you guys? Because I know a lot of people.
Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland was another one, but Knott's Berry Farm
has something.
Yeah, Knott's Berry Farm was Cloud 9. That's what I'm talking about. That was
yeah.
That was the shit. Everybody went to Cloud 9, until they got of age. And then when we got of age, we went, got 18, we started going to 321. We started going to the Palace. We started going to Florentine Gardens when the Florentine Gardens first opened. So that's how I met Shabba-Doo. And then me and Shabba-Doo became close after I started going out to clubs. And then me and Steve Messina were rivals. We were Orange County rivals because we're both from Orange County. He was a dance surfer. I was a surf dancer. So he was a dance star when he was a kid. I didn't start dancing until a teen. He didn't start surfing till he was a teen. So we had the opposite kind of thing about us. But we were rivals in Orange County. And Steve Messina was like, don't take this the wrong way, but Steve Messina was like every woman's wet dream. He was probably one of the most gorgeous guys that every woman and man was in love with. Like, he was just like, he did a commercial in 1987 with Brad Pitt and another guy. Steve Messina got more fan mail from Pangos than anybody in that commercial. And him and Brad Pitt were like neck and neck as far as like who was going to be the next rising superstar. and obviously Brad Pitt went much farther. But we started practicing together, and and just started fucking around doing like little routines. And it was Stellis that kind of like, why don't you guys kind of mix? Frankie, you're good at the trendy shit. Like you can kind of do, because I'm older than you guys. So a lot of those dances I thought were like, wow, that's what the kids are doing. You guys are doing all this weird, RoboCop and Transformers and shit. I'm like, what the, But Stellis is like, if you put those two together, you guys would be different than everybody else. You guys will be different than the Billy and Jarvises and the Innocents and all these other groups at the time. And I was like, okay. So he taught us that little house slide that you guys do. And, he was teaching us like how to do the skating of James Brown and the prep and all this stuff. And this is like 87, 88, And then we started doing dance contests. And we started winning them left and right, like one after another. We're like out in Riverside, Orange County, LA, Ventura, Oxnard, the Valley. We were winning dance contests. Me and Steve were making a killing off that. We were making like $2,000 a month. We were winning gear, winning trips, winning stereo systems, winning all kinds of. We'd sell a lot of that stuff, or we'd take the money and pay our rent with it. But we were making a killing. And it's funny about that, because I'm gonna get back to something, but our rivals at that time were these two guys that came out of nowhere. We didn't know where the fuck these two guys came from. Me and Steve are winning. All of a sudden, there's these two guys, two little black guys that are just whipping it. And we had no idea where they're coming from. And they were called Touch It Class. And we're like, who the fuck are these guys? And and they always put us in the final against them. Like they would, they always had this mad like Metro out in Riverside or Carnival in Orange County. They used to have these,
Metro. Yep.
Yeah. And so we go to these finals, and they put us together. So, and more times, I have to admit, more times out of any, they won. We won a few, but Touch It Class was so fucking ahead of their time. I mean, it was like we didn't know where they came from. Nobody could say.
Who was in that group?
Alfred and Seymour.
Alfred and Seymour.
They were just cold, Brody, cold. Now, I had been out, I went to Florentine Gardens regularly. I don't care what anybody said. Florentine Gardens was one of the greatest, and still to this day, the greatest facility club Los Angeles has ever had. They had podiums, light shows, 3,500 people. You had food, you had bar. It was the best club of all of them. But and everybody went at that time. So this little guy comes running up to me and goes, I know you, dude. I know you, dude. You that dude. I know you, man. You that dude that be in the contest. And I'm like, you're that little motherfucker that be beating us at the contest. And we gave each other a big ass hug, a shake, a hug. He goes, man, I love you, bro. You're fucking dope, man. We every time we see you white boys, we're like, man, those guys are fucking dope, man. We're gonna have a hard time with them. And we're like, those two guys right there are dope. We're gonna have a hard time with them. And we became friends from that moment on. And the only other rivalry we had after that was to get on Star Search. And the judges had a hard time on who they were going to pick for that. They pondered on that because it was both of us auditioning for the spot on Star Search. And Star Search at that time didn't have nobody hip hop on it. And we were the first non-technically trained hip hop on Star Search in 1991. But anyway, let's before that, now back to Shabadoo. Shabadoo was a big fan of Funky Fresh Boys. There's some clips on YouTube I could send links to, but where Shabadoo was a huge fan of us. He was really a big, not just a fan, but he was also he was very inspired by us and inspired us to be greater. Shabadoo tried for a long time to get me in the industry, and I was like, dude, I'm just not into it. I just want to be really good. My only goal was to be good enough to dance for Michael Jackson. That's how dope I wanted to be as a dancer. And I auditioned for Michael numerous times until finally Vince Patterson told me in the 90s, he goes, Frankie, I've always wanted you to be on the videos and on tour, but you're just too tall. And I was like, ain't that a bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was hard enough battling. I don't know if people understand how hard it is to be a dancer and to be tall.
Yeah.
Because you have to compensate your moves. When you look at somebody little, they can be a lot of energy and be on the beat, and it looks really good. Somebody big doesn't look that good. We have to neutralize our energy to make it match. Our legs are so long that we like to do a Skeeter Rabbit. I have to half do it. I can't go all the way out like somebody else little. So I have to kind of keep it smaller. You know what I'm saying? So it took a long time to understand that. And then to say, you're too tall to dance. And I was too tall for Janet. I was too tall for Madonna. I was too tall for Michael. I was too tall for pretty much every artist that I was asked to, you know, maybe audition or dance for. But back to Shabba-Doo. Shabba-Doo and Patrick Allen, both. I don't know if you guys remember Patrick Allen. Pat and Cat won Star Search. Yeah, the Pat and Cat won Star Search in '86, and Cat ended up being with Prince through the Sign of the Times. And
Cat, yeah, the female Cat.
It was Pat and Cat.
Remember her legs?
So
I was doing a housequake, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Around that time, Sign of the Times.
Yeah, I just heard her on a podcast the other day.
So Patrick Allen was a really big, not only one of my really good friends, but he was a very a supporter of of me as an entertainer. And I wasn't trying to be in Hollywood because I already kind of knew what it was about. My dad tried to get me in it when I was a kid. I hated it. I thought it was lame as fuck, and it wasn't what I was into. I thought it just wasn't what I was into. But Shabba-Doo was like, so one night at Florentine Gardens, I got caught alone. Billy and Jarvis weren't there. Marcus wasn't there that night. Steve didn't come with me. I was kind of alone.
Were you doing Soul Train around this time too?
No, I'll get to that in a second.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I went to Florentine Gardens. It was like an off night, like a Friday night or something, right? And I went by myself because I forgot why I went there, but I got caught alone, and I got hit up by like all these buster ass dancers. I mean, literally from Orange County, Riverside, and they were one by one battling, and I was whipping their asses. I'm not trying to brag or shine my nails, but dude, I was on one. I was going through their legs, jumping over them, doing half splits, pulling myself back up, hit my hat shit. I had the suspenders. I was going through them. I'm not trying to go into the whole thing, but I was serving them. So I called Shabba-Doo, from the payphone, and I'm like, Shab, I was killing these dudes, man. I was killing them. He goes, all right, come on over. I go, okay, I'm coming over. So I go to Shabba-Doo's house, and to make a long story short, he just looked at me and said, okay, bro, you gave me this whole thing of you served these guys and this thing. He goes, first of all, did you make any money? I said, no. The second thing he asked, he goes, how much did you pay to get in? I said, well, I paid $5 before 9 o'clock. So he got there at before 9 o'clock and paid $5. I could see that you spent a lot of money on Aquanet and that all collapsed. You have stains on your knees and on your clothes. You have to do laundry. You didn't get paid. And you spent, a full $3-4 to get on gas to get there. So what did you get out of it? I go, but I served them, Shabba. Aren't you proud of me? I served them by myself. I didn't need Steve. I didn't need Billy and Jarvis. None of them. He goes, but you didn't make any money. So what good is it? What kind of bragging right is that? He goes, you need to do something with this. Let's get you a headshot and some resumes. Your boy Steve does pictures. Let's start. So I said, all right, dude, fuck it. Let's see what happens. So I did my headshot resume, and Shabba-Doo took it to the only dance agent at that time, which was JHR, Joseph Hexon and Rex. And Julie McDonald was the head agent. And she goes, and she was a fan of mine for a couple years prior to that, but had no idea what to do with me. Here I am doing the Running Man and all these, she had no idea what to make of what I was doing. And so she brings me in the office, and I put on the application or the whatever, what kind of dance style do I do? And I said, hip hop. And she said, Frankie, that's not a dance style. That's a style of music. I said, that's what I am. I'm hip hop. This is 1989. And she goes, Frankie, you have to be ballet or jazz or popping or breakdancing. You can't just be hip hop. I said, but that's what I am. I'm hip hop. So she goes, she rolls her eyes, she looks at the others and said, okay, let's sign him. He's adorable. I have a feeling about him. So I get signed to JHR, and I go out on my first 5 auditions. One of them was a PSA commercial that won a Clio Award that year. PSA is public service announcement. And I had a high top fade, and they you know, this is when high top fades wasn't cool for anybody, let alone somebody white. But I had, you know, before Bart Simpson, mind you, you know. Now, and then I landed a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, which me and Steve landed that we got a lot of money for. And then I had like a couple of veils and a bunch of callbacks. So in the midst of like 1990, in the midst of that year, like within 6 months, I was getting like all these casting calls and so on and so forth, right? And I was getting the trust of my agents, the casting, the directors, the ad agents, and they were loving me. They were they couldn't get enough of me. And so I started saying, hey, look, I got a whole bunch of people that are even better than I am. You know, like they are amazing. And so little by little, I started gaining their trust. So I would get called to auditions, and I would call Legend, I would call Billy Jarvis, I would call Raz Kaz, or who was Raisin at the time, I called Chameleon or Kalani. I'd call Dags and Dion, and Scheme Teams, and Dynamic Souls, and Manslaughter, and Soul Brothers. I was calling all these cats to go to the auditions. And I used my white privilege, or privilege, if you want to call it, to the advantage. And I was getting people work. I was getting people signed to agents. You know what I did with will.i.am. I found him at 15 years old, and I got it's all kinds of people. So there's numerous people. I don't want to sit there because I don't want to feel like I'm bragging, but there's probably hundreds of people I've hooked up in the years because of it. But in the early years, I got dozens of people hooked up, got them signed to agents and castings, and got them on commercials and so on and so forth, music videos. So even with the Soul Brothers, I mean, the famous story of the Soul Brothers in the Michael Jackson fiasco. But I had gotten a call from my agent saying,
let me pause you real quick, Frankie D.
Frankie, yeah, Legend got some questions for you.
Yeah, not even questions. I just want to give him flowers while he's here, because it's like, like I said, he's around us. He's the only white dude, and like I said, people outside the circle, always, ask, what's Frankie D? What part does he play in all this shit? But I want to tell all you guys, I got the receipts. Frankie D has always been there from the very beginning to the middle, heading towards the end. He's been there the whole time. Like, everything he's saying is true. Validation. He brought will.i.am to my house when he was young. You know what I'm saying? On Cochran, when I was staying with Def Jeff.
Yeah.
Brought Shabba-Doo, you know what I'm saying? Made him personal in my life. You know what I'm saying? Not just like, yo, come meet Shabba-Doo.
Same here.
We talking exchanging phone numbers and becoming my mentor. You know what I'm saying? Along the way. And as I'm, kind of convert the dance into the movies and all that. So yeah, Frankie D was definitely there. He's valid. OG. Cuddy Mac. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all that. So I want y'all to know it's official. He's official.
Now, what's funny about this? The funny thing about this my introduction to the Soul Brothers, because I was going to Ultra Wave and Uncle Jam's Army and Jam City and all those things that were going through, and I caught the last end of quite a few of those because I wasn't quite old enough. And the big groups at that time were like the Groovers, the Romeos, the Sex Jerks, like a lot of those groups, the Posers, they were like the biggest groups of that time period. And the Romeos, who Alex Thomas, the famous comedian, was the leader of it. And I think it was at Jam City.
It was Malik.
Malik.
Yeah. And I remember I didn't see it, but I was there. I couldn't get in. I forgot what happened. I think it was an ID issue. I forgot what it was at Jam City. But when you guys battled the Romeos, but when I found out later that night that you guys had killed them or whatever, they forfeited, I was like, wow, that's a huge blow to the trendy era, because the Soul Brothers are going to reign supreme. And I always knew that. I told Thelus, I go, you guys have something that these guys, the Party Boys and all these other groups, they're dope as fuck. Don't get me wrong. But the Soul Brothers, when you guys had that Tommy gun routine, it was nothing like it. Nothing. Everybody was in formations. You guys had the one guy in the middle. You guys went around in a circle. You guys had the plaid pants.
You remember that.
It was such a dope routine. I mean, if you guys did that shit today, it would be considered a great choreography piece.
Yeah, that was a classic. That was before Smooth Criminal.
Right. Now, one thing I want to make clear to all the dancers out there, there was no such thing as choreography. We did routines. The big difference between routines and choreography. Choreography is what you do to a song. A routine is something you can do no matter what song is playing. So everything was like in a 4/4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, or 2/8 counts, right? So anyway, when that happened, I went, wow, that's going to be, and I had already been friends with Thelus. Me and Thelus met through Shabadoo. Actually, I think I forgot how we met. And then I started picking him up, and we would go to Gerardo's club. He had a club called Cachets or something like that. And this is when Gerardo had just finished doing Colors. He was the Mexican guy, 2 to 1, and I want to die, you know.
Yeah.
And he had a club, and I used to take Thelus all the time. Me and Thelus were like, he was like a year younger than me, so he could kind of get into spots. And we just had a very unique relationship. He was funny as fuck. I thought Thelus was one of the greatest dancers. Him and Cedric. I was friends with both of them, and I didn't know both of them were in the Soul Brothers until months after, you know, when I saw them together. I'm like, you guys know each other? Like, yeah, we're both Soul Brothers. I'm like, you're a Soul Brother, Cedric? Whoa. I was like, and I'm sorry, guys. No disrespect to you guys. I love you guys to death. But as a stand-up dancer, Cedric was one of the greatest stand-up dancers I've ever seen in my life. Soul Brother said,
he's my favorite too.
You know, now when it came to going to the ground, he started lacking because he couldn't hang with you guys, with what you guys were doing on the ground. But stand-up dancing, oh, he was cold. He had the wounded shoulder, everything. There was nothing he couldn't do. Thelus had one of the sweetest prep James Brown I've ever seen. Now, I gotten close to Thelus for many years. And then when the group broke up and Legend came in and it became you three, I got close to Ledge. I don't know how we got close, Ledge. Something happened. I think it was at Thelus' club when he was doing Hot Buttered Soul. Remember that? You guys remember when he did with Thelus? It was very short-lived. It's called Hot Buttered.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Remember that? And it was short-lived, but the music was incredible. I think he had Keith E, DJing and Higher. Yeah, and AM. And I think that's when Ledge goes, yo, bro, Shaq, you know, I got something on deck, you know. And I used to go and get in my music from him, and we used to just kind of hang around for a sec, you know. And then he finally invited me over to not the Shenandoah spot, the Cochrane spot. And I used to come over there all the time. We used to just kick it. And the funny thing is, we never practiced dancing. We never got together we just got together on just other shit, you know, talk about knowledge, talk about music, talked about sucker ass people. And I was like, because there were so many suckers back then. I'm sorry. But Forgot what I was gonna go with the Soul Brothers, but
I
You're
did
talking
meet
about how
you
you met everybody.
I met you at my grandmother's house though, for sure. Peace to Nola.
no, you invite we had been talking. You invited me to that.
To my grandmother's house?
Yeah, you had a couple of functions there, lads.
Yeah.
I
You
remember
invited
that.
me to that. You invited
The
me.
only OGs came to Nola's house.
Yeah. And it was an honor because you
So if
had
you came to
everybody
Nola's
there.
house, you was somebody. Because Legend
And,
wasn't just letting anybody over. Big ups to Nola.
Yeah.
I miss Nola.
But then that whole Def Jeff thing was kind of amazing because, like, when he first time I remember Def Jeff was Give It Here. And it was like, give it here. Don't say nothing. Just give it. And the song was really kind of corny. And
yeah, that was one of the Delicious Vinyls. They had to do that with every one of their artists. That was their remedy to try to
that's
get everybody out there.
That's
and it did pretty good with him. I mean, I was surprised how many people knew the song when we were going on the road. Remember that? Huh?
Well, man, we was hungry though. That song sounded like Big Daddy when we first started doing the first show. True.
We didn't care.
They were true. That sounded just man, excellent. We was hungry, Cuddy.
We was hungry. We was like, oh, we're gonna be out there. Let's go.
But what's funny is that video was kind of legendary because the girl in it was beautiful. You know, I didn't know who she was at the time, but you know, of course, we know her sister D. And the guys that were in the video, I was like, they're dancing like Soul Brothers, but it wasn't the Soul Brothers. But it was Dwayne. It was the last era of Soul Brother Dwayne before he became.
No. That was Sudan, Divine.
That was
and the other Divine.
I know Divine.
And KB. And KB.
Yep, KB.
And KB. That's who was dancing in that video.
Oh, really? So it wasn't Dwayne.
So it was no, that was Sudan.
Sudan, LB Divine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I know Divine was in it. That I knew for sure.
Remember, you know LB Divine, he was the one that we would see him at the what's that club? The house club that we were going to in the hotel.
Oh yeah, the Mayfair.
He had the gazelles like I had on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was LB. Yeah.
Oh,
that was him. They were all dancing in that video.
Yeah,
that's funny. But the one of my proudest moments was when I don't know if it was Yo MTV Raps or if it was D's Pump It Up. No, it was D's Pump It Up because I recorded almost every episode on my VHS before I left to go out that night because I didn't want to miss it. But the most proudest moment was when Dropping Rhymes on Drum came out. I was like, what the fuck? This is going to change the game. Because usually, you know, Big Daddy Kane or Heavy D and the Boys.
You wasn't at the video shoot, Franky D?
No, I wasn't at the video shoot. I think the only I don't think I went to any of the video shoots.
You didn't go to you didn't even go to Black in the Future.
I went to a rehearsal you guys had at Cochrane for Black for the Future. You guys did like a little practice thing. But my agent had told me to stay away from music videos unless it was a huge artist. So realistically in my career, I've only done about 7 music videos and they're all major music artists. I did it for Quincy Jones, Vanessa Williams, Fatboy Slim, Brittany Murphy. But you know, all the videos I had done had to be like, because it was like taboo. Unless you were part of the artist, then it was different. You know, you guys were with Def Jeff. And I'm sorry, if the Soul Brothers weren't with Def Jeff, I don't know if Def Jeff would have been as successful. As dope of a rapper as he is and as dope as his music was. But his music changed when you guys came in. Because he was on that Give It Here shit. And then he gets with you guys and he's on some funky drummer and some soul shit, you know. So the way he looked, everything. But when Drop Rhymes on Drum came out, I was like, oh my God, these guys went there. They went there with the overalls. They went there with the look. You know, you guys were like deeply part of him. It wasn't like you guys were backup dancers. You guys were like part of the crew, you know. And I was like, that is
other for sure.
It was like nobody else did that. Big Daddy Kane a little bit, Special Ed, the Magnificent. You know, there was other, but not like that. That was like something different. And I was like, those are my boys right there. Those are my boys. Them motherfuckers are gonna rule this and that. And then the madness came. Then came the no, just before that, D had you guys on, and that was when Legend was like, what's your style of dress on the strength? I'm like an old fisherman type jig, you know, the Kwanzaa gift from mom. And I was sagging like a gangster, not because I'm a gangster, but just because Jimmy likes his fresh nails. And I was like, that was classic. Yeah, you guys were dancing on the stairs, and I was like, oh shit, that was a full highlight, right? And then Drop of Rhymes on Drum comes out, and then you guys do this whole thing where you guys hijacked or kidnapped Jeff, went to Mexico, and they did a whole thing on it. And you guys were like, yo, my brown bro shot. Can we use your box? So brothers can get ill shot. And I was like, I'm telling you, this is going to change the whole. Now, NWA was considered the most dangerous group. They wanted to be called the most feared group. I've heard this from Dre. And yeah, you might argue with me. Somebody might argue with me, but I heard this from Dre. He said, we know Dre,
just like you know Dre. He talked to you a lot, talked to us a lot.
So he said they were going to call him, or Eazy-E wanted to call himself the most feared group. But the Soul Brothers at that time was the most feared group. That, you know what I'm saying? When you guys came into the function, it was like, oh shit, the Soul Brothers are here. Oh shit. Oh shit, all the Nasty Habits, all the duos, the Innocents, the Irresistibles, the Man, all those groups at that time, they were like, oh shit, these motherfucking Soul Brothers are here. Shit, oh fuck. Come into Paradise 24. It was like all of the GTIs, which is the Far Side, numerous of them. And everybody was a rival to the Soul Brothers. You guys might not have seen it, but you guys were ahead of everybody. So everybody that comes up to you guys now or through the years, and yeah, man, I battled you. Yeah, they did. They didn't win. They didn't win, but everybody tried to battle the Soul Brothers. Everybody tried to battle.
Thought, man, like I said, we didn't really study that, but I'm seeing like all the old cats. Like when I saw the Temptations movie, when Eddie Kendricks and Paul first walked in, the first thing them dudes said, damn, I hope they don't sing like they walk. So I'm thinking, I always thought like your initial walk into the club was just as important as your boogie.
Yeah.
Like, came in that motherfucker, boy, you had to like, you know what I'm saying, cats know. So yeah, that shit was working.
Yeah, it was working. And we were like I said on a lot of shows, Legend would sit there and do these things where he would have us like getting us riled up. Oh yeah. He had us riled up. He had us watching. What was that? The Greatest Knockouts. But he had done the Greatest Knockouts from all the you know, from Muhammad Ali to Tyson to all of them, just everybody who had great knockouts. We would see that before a show. So it would be, before we would come to the club. So we would walk in the club like, that used to be crazy.
You know what's so crazy? That same exact video, the same one, I played it for my football team right before our Super Bowl. And man, we beat the shit out them kids, bro. And they were actually doing stuff from the hits from the video in the game. And I'm bugging like, yo, that tape is magical for sure.
If you guys know anything about Frankie D, he's a dance historian. And I just wanted to one of my other questions, I know Legend got one more, it's my last one for me, was how do you, from your perspective, what makes you pick these different people that you get attracted to and they become these great individuals, and you always meet them right when they like right before they even like sprout. It's like, it's like a gift you got.
Well,
yeah,
rest in
the crumpers. Like, once I was coaching football, you had the crumpers and brought the crumpers to my house. You brought like 9 of them motherfuckers to my living room.
Every time. It's inevitable. Franky
So
does it now.
How do you know to gravitate towards each to the best of the best?
Well, I have an ear and an eye that's impeccable. I can see art and fashion and music. I can hear a song and tell you within a few measures if that's how far that song is going to go. I just have that. I don't know what it is. But as far as dancing is concerned, I have to credit a lot of it to 3 people, and they were all lockers. One of them, of course, is Shabadoo. Second one is Tony Basil, and the third one is Greg Camelot Jr.
Oh.
Shabadoo showed me, like, he showed me so much love. Him and Patrick Allen, like Shabadoo supported me. He wasn't like, I wasn't little Shabadoo or under Shabadoo. He supported me, and he was my big homie. And we just had a really, really unique bond. And he helped me a lot in how to look at dance. I remember he showed me a VHS, the history of dance that went back to like the early Cakewalk of 1904 and the first moving pictures and the Bojangles and all the Nicholas Brothers and so on and so forth. And I was like, God, they're doing what we do, but we're doing what they do. So that was number one, I think. Tony Basil doesn't get enough credit, but she told me, you want to see the next trend, go to any junior high school, and that will be the next trend 4 years from now. And it reigns supreme. If you want to see what's going to be the next trend 4 years from today, go to your junior high school and see what the coolest kids are doing. Like that kid that we saw last night that dances at the house club, the little 10-year-old.
Yeah.
The way he dances and his generation is going to be the next trend. And you see how they're going.
And he had a good eye, because when he see me come out, remember last week, he was like, go, go. He knew. Yeah. So I was like, when I that pumped me up, but I, like a little 10-year-old pumping me up.
Right.
It was just.
But you see how he
got me to go, huh?
But you see how he's going back to that old formula?
Yeah,
like he's not just doing a 4-count dance. He's doing the dance to its completion. And then he waits for the measure of the music, and then he changes the dance at that double. You know what I'm saying? Like and a lot of kids are on that right now, but so that's a good example. So that's how I saw Crump. I saw Crump when they were still in junior high school. I saw junior tie-dyes and baby tie-dyes and hurricanes. And when they were really young, they were 14, 15 years old, 13. And I saw something in that dance that I knew was going to be big. And all the OGs were telling me, it could be. They were saying the same thing about Crump as they were saying about hip hop in the 80s. Oh, it's not going to be anything. Nobody wants to see this shit all day long. And clown dancing's much more attractive. I'm telling you, Crump dancing's going to be the shit. But that's basically, to answer your question, V, I just have an eye and an ear, and I have a feeling. I have, I can just see things and go, wow, that's going to be the shit. And I can tell you if it's going to fail too. Like I could do that with a music artist. I can play a song and tell you, okay, this person's going to be just an underground artist. This person's going to be a cult classic. This person's going to be a pop star phenomenal. And more times out of any, what happens, I mean, you look at the Rejects. Nobody was fucking with the Rejects in the music industry. And then I started doing some videos on them, put them out. I believed in them fully. And then what happens? The jerk movement changed hip hop. And they didn't invent jerk. Jerk was invented from the Rejects.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just funny like that. It's just like there was hip hop in Los Angeles prior to the Soul Brothers, right? But the Soul Brothers was the first hip hop crew in Los Angeles. You can't say Rhyme Syndicate. even though Ice-T and all them, you know, they were
They
hip
were
hop.
Zulu Nation.
Yeah, they were
They made
Zulu.
that Zulu Nation from, you know.
Yeah, exactly. They were Zulu Nation, but they weren't like a hip hop crew.
Yeah.
Soul Brothers was the first hip hop crew in Los Angeles. And then everybody who's ever like Black Eyed Peas, DeBelle DeVoe, TLC, just to name a few that were inspired by the whole look of the Soul Brothers. And I hate to put the Soul Brothers Scheme Team thing because they are completely separate, but you guys were all homies. Chameleon, Kalani, Craig, V, Ledge. You guys are, even to this day, brother, all you guys are really, 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 really close, right? But Soul Brothers, like I try to explain to people, like, what's the difference between Scheme Team and Soul Brothers? Soul Brothers were pro-African, pro-Black, pro-Islam, pro-Farrakhan, pro-Ali, pro-James Brown, pro-Sam Cooke. They were pro-Black, pro-African, pro-Jamaican, and ragamuffin, right? Scheme Team were on the Black Pride thing, but with some psychedelic, with like Jimi Hendrix. They were spray painting their clothes. They were taking shit that, you know, most of us weren't taking at that time. And they kind of took it to like a Flower Child kind of mentality. And that's the difference between Scheme Team and Soul Brothers. But the energy level was impeccable. I mean, I can't take away what Chameleon did for hip hop, or Brother, or Kalani. They were phenomenal. You know, Cockney Diary, Danny, Divine Styler, who's not even from LA. He's from New York, right? Originally. Divine.
Yep. And you know what's funny? I was with the California Kid yesterday, and he busted, y'all. He got busy.
Who did?
I always liked them, man.
Chameleon was dancing with him.
Oh, Chameleon. Yeah, you sent me that picture.
Yeah. He did one show, one video, and one TV appearance. And here it is 25 years later, and their name is always synonymous with all they always Scheme Team in the same sentence. And I like that. I love it. I mean, that their impact was cold.
Hey, I'm not mad at it because,
not at all.
Said, because the Soul Brothers obviously did much more professionally. And not to take away from Scheme Team, but you guys were with Jeff. You guys got on A Living Color as the first male dancers on A Living Color. You guys danced for numerous artists for Delicious Vinyl, Brand New Heavies, Master Ace, I think, that white boy, what's his name? You guys did Think with the Far Side. Yeah, Jesse James. James. But you guys were up on your tours and stuff. Scheme Teams didn't really have that. They had Divine Styler. I think me and Kalani did Quincy Jones's
That's right. You did. You froze, Cuddy. Did you freeze on me, bro? Shot.
Be good to.
Oh, there you go. You freezing up on me, Brody. Uh-oh. Got technical issues on my end. Yo, V.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. I can't get Frankie D.
Oh man.
Technical issues.
Dang. Let me hit him and see if he hit back so we can
hold on. That's my thing tripping again. My Bluetooth. Frozen like the tundra, Grim say.
Grim said TDF. How many of y'all know who TDF is?
And two got correct too. Somebody said Sex Jerk was a dance group, and Sex Jerk was not a dance group.
Well, you know, all the dancers from different groups went into Sex Jerk. So they were still a little bit of dancers, but
I'm not here.
They started banging. He right. Because he was one.
Who, Graham?
Yeah.
Ooh, Graham. Graham be on there on the Kev Mac videos with the 60s now, Cuddy. Doing it. Huh?
Oh, he be watching them.
Yeah. We be on there chatting. I'll be like, Cuddy. Yeah, where Frankie D go, bro? Shot?
I don't know yet. Let me hit him.
I want to get into the
yeah, because see, don't be getting nothing started if you ain't gonna let it finish. If you gonna finish it. That nigga got it going.
Man.
I want to finish it.
Yeah, we're gonna wind it out, man. I only got one question.
Okay. Hold on, let me.
Oh, I still got the same shit.
What happened to Fro?
She was in the house. She was in the chat room. She out of town.
Oh, okay. She's doing a Frankie D.
Yo.
What happened?
I don't know. It completely cut out on my end. The rainbow thing came on. I mean, it just like you went off, and then Legend went off, and then I went off, and then it left the little screen, and then it just kept, and then it finally just cut out. I'm like, what the heck?
Oh no, log back in right now.
Log back in. Use the same link.
Use the same link.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you only got one question left, Cuddy.
I had to go take care of some business real fast. So that's when I got off. I was thinking y'all was just flowing right there.
Y'all going to the village?
All of a sudden it just
yeah, I gotta go up there. I gotta pick up some clothes from there. My man Kahil made, we was working on a little collaboration.
Oh, dope. Oh, he do cook and do clothes?
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta check his fits out. His stuff is nice, but I've been working on some jackets and some overalls, and I'm gonna do some pants and stuff next. I'm just messing around.
All right, let me see. Grim dropping some game. However, posers may have been conceived
as a dance group,
but that didn't last long.
They started banging earlier. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
KOD started off a dance group.
They were words. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because we battled them as when I was a Jazzy boy, and my boy got into a fight with him.
Wow.
And that's when we knew there was gonna be a gang. And the one that got into a fight with him ended up a sex jerk.
They used to tear them little hotel parties up.
KODs became 6-0s.
Yeah, for sure.
They adopted them.
No question about it. Yeah.
I have a computer, so I'm waiting for it to turn back on.
Oh, you was on your computer?
Meantime, answer this question.
My phone would allow me to do it. It didn't have the right thing, so I didn't think my computer was going to be able to do it. And but now it's slow at responding at everything, which I had a feeling.
You can still keep it going. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear.
Okay. So we want to know.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my computer to restart. It's taking forever for it to do what's saying. The Apple symbol just came on, so I just gotta wait for it to.
Well, Legend got a question for you if you can hear him.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. You got one of the coldest titles that you branded yourself. When did the whole vibe, when you knew that you was the funkiest white man alive, and for 20 years you have challenged Ric Flair for the title? So when did that come about, Frankie D? And why are you the funkiest white man alive?
Damn. Who was the first one to give me that title? I would have to say, God, there's a lot. Jazzy J, you, Fellas, but I think Mr. Animation. I was really, really, really good friends with Mr. Animation when we were teenagers. Another guy I met Vincent Foster at Cloud9, and he was 16. I was 17, and we became very good friends. That's how I met Shrimp and all them. And in 1985, Animation, because I was a mod, and he didn't really care for the mod thing. So I wanted to be called like Ska D or Skankadelic because I was really good at skanking. And he was like,
said
no,
Skankadelic.
And he was like, you funky, you Frankie, you funky, you funky. You name it. I hated the name Frank. Anything that Frank, and Frankie sounded like all my older relatives when I was a kid. Oh, Frankie, Frankie. So I hated like Franklin, none of anything of that. And he was like, so Animation was like, your name is Frank. That's a powerful name. Frank, like Sinatra. Frank, like Avalon. Franklin, like P. Roosevelt. Benjamin, Franklin, Frankie. Your last name is D. Miranda. D. Frankie. D. Frankie motherfucking D. That's your name. You funky Frankie fucking D. And I went, dude, I hate that's a stupid fucking name. Sounds like a cheap ass rapper. Frankie D and the place B and MSC. That just sounds lame. Doesn't sound like a dance name, dude. And he was like, no, you funky. You funky, you Frankie. Frankie D. I went, how about Funky D? He goes, no, Frankie D. So he called me that for weeks. I hated it. I was like, dude, would you stop calling me that? It's not my fucking name, dude. He goes, Frankie D. Frankie D. He'd be like, that's Frankie D right there. I'd be like, shut up. So finally, if you guys remember Florentine Gardens, he ran the stage on Sunday nights, and he had the mic, and he'd bring out the Egyptian lovers and the Romeos, the Innocents, and so on and so forth. And he goes, the funkiest white boy, my boy, Frankie D. And I was like, oh, man, and he kept repeating, Frankie D, Frankie D, Frankie D. So I go out there and I get busy, but it was almost took away from my craze because he kept saying Frankie D, and there was like 30 girls in the front. And they were screaming at the top of their lungs, Frankie D, Frankie D. And I was like, I felt like a fucking rock star, dude. That kind of solidified how funky I was. And then Thelus was like, because he wasn't really too keen on white people. I don't think the Soul Brothers were at all at that time period. But Thelus was like, you're probably the funkiest white boy I've ever known. and I used to say Ricky and Scotty were dope. But Thelus was like, no, you're way funkier than Ricky. And because Ricky was kind of low key, like I looked up to Ricky. I thought Ricky he was one of the dopest white boys I've ever seen. Until Pakalika later came. But Pakalika is kind of like my little homie because he used to look up to me. Him and Dave and all pretty dope when I met him. But Pakalika was kind of like my little homie because when I first saw Pac, he was a Tweety. His name was Tweety. And here we go.
Okay, you good?
There you go again, Frankie D. You lost 9 Cuddy Mac stripes on this show and gained 12. Now that we know animation gave you your name, that's 4 Cuddy Mac stripes right there. But now that you didn't tell us, you lost 3.
Well, he told me.
I didn't know. Okay, if you let them know you, so I'm only gonna take 2 because we didn't. Me and Ski didn't know.
Oh, y'all didn't know? Y'all.
That's a whole.
Animation gave him his name, and he told me the same story. The Frankie D, when the crowd started yelling his name. And
yeah, that was that.
Cuddy, when you gonna come on, Chaz? We've been waiting for you for the longest, bro. Shot. Yeah, return my calls. As the new kids say, I'm in my feelings.
Damn.
But yeah, that's how
that's cornbread, B-Love.
Huh?
But
that's cornbread. IBM.
Wow.
Yeah. Come on here, man.
But that's how the funkiest white man alive.
Story.
That's the funkiest white man alive, and the Frankie D came about. But you know, but
that's a dope story.
But back to the Soul Brother thing. A lot of people were afraid of the Soul Brothers. You guys were so black and masculine, and there was like a lot of discrepancies on why the Soul Brothers couldn't really get their footing like a lot of people were getting. Like a lot of groups at that time. And I used to fight endlessly with my agents, because they'd be like, "Why do you dress like that? You look like a runaway slave. You look like a old man." Because we used to wear the baggy jeans with the blazers, and then the dress shirt. And then when you came up with the overalls and the one overall, then they go, "That's a stupid look. You're wearing these overalls that are 10 times bigger than you are, and this, you're wearing these ugly boots and these hats turned back that looks. You guys look like paper boys, you know what I'm saying? Like of the 30s." And I'm like, "But this is our swag. This is our look. I'm telling you, we're going to change the world." They're like, and so when I was like, "And who are you influenced by?" I'm like, "Well, I'm an honorary member of the Soul Brothers." Like, who the fuck are the Soul Brothers? And why, are they a pop locking group? Are they a breakdancing group? I go, "No, they are a hip hop group." And so I remember Legend, when I brought you guys on, when Craig had the Mustang, and you guys came to Hollywood and Highland to the agency, and you guys came, and it was a huge deal, and they were like, "I don't know what to do with them. I have no idea. I don't get it. I don't understand. And I don't understand it. I don't get it." Right? And I'm like, "Okay, all right, fine." So I think it was a year or two later. Yeah, it was 2 years later, because I just blew out my knee, and Monica, of one of the lead agents of my agency, had called me and said, "Frankie, I know you're injured. You kind of look ethnic. You might be kind of right for this. They did request you to come to this audition, but Frankie, I'm not going to have you sign an affidavit. I'm not going to have you come into the office, but you have to give me your promise that you do not tell anybody about this audition." And I said, "Okay, I promise I won't tell anybody." "Who's it for?" And she said, "Well, it's a Michael Jackson video, and we don't really have much details of what, but it's Michael Jackson, and he's throwing a private audition, and he's only bringing the best of the best." And I'm like, "I'm on crutches, so I can't dance." She goes, "Well, can you go by there anyway? They really requested you." I was the only white guy at this audition. But anyway, I had called Legend. I said, "Okay, I go, do you know about the audition?" Legend goes, "What audition?" I go, I'm trying to go around it without going straight into it. I'm like, "Well, there's a big audition going on tonight. Do you know anything about it?" And Legend's like, "Yo, Cuddy Mac, I don't know what you talking about, Brody. I don't know nothing about no audition." I go, "Okay, Ledge, but you got to promise me you can't tell anybody you heard it from me, but Michael Jackson's holding an audition. I don't know what the song is for or anything like that, but you need to gather the troops and get up there." And he goes, "Where's it at?" I go, "It's at the Alley Cat." He goes, "Okay, bro, shot." So he went and got Craig V.
Everything was there.
Yeah, and then and nobody knew, because the whole thing was that the audition was like halfway over, by the time you guys got there. I thought it was going to be too late for you guys. I was like, well, at least you guys can meet Singleton. Singleton comes running up to you guys. My God, the Soul Brothers are here. What the fuck? Da, 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 da. Like, I didn't know how to get a hold of you guys. I didn't know anything like that. You know, I wanted you guys and it's not. And I could see Fatima was just like
mad.
She was mad.
Oh, she was so mad. I never forget that day. All of them were mad. Everybody in the room was mad.
Yeah,
I don't know why. We had our own part separate. So
yeah,
that was before we even got that. Remember they told us they were like, y'all gotta do this routine, and we was like, we ain't doing that routine.
Yeah, when John Singleton came in, it was like should have been a done deal.
Yeah,
like okay.
And that shit was, that whole thing was dirty, Mac, man. I wish I would have known about that phone call that you guys got the night before, because I would have been like, confirm it with production, confirm it with the cast, and confirm it with 3 other people, because people change dates to fuck shit up.
Yeah,
and that's
like
exactly.
I said, she scratched it out with pencil.
Yeah, and they hit you with I got hit bad when I did this. I was a cast member of, remember that show Sparks with Lorenz with Robin Givens and Terrence Howard, the Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince. Remember that show Sparks? Otis Salid, who's a choreographer, hired me for that, and he wanted me to be a regular on that show, you know, to be in the bar scene. And so we did all these rehearsals and stuff, and similar to what you guys did, and I should have known better, but I trusted this girl. But we were on our break, and they said, okay, everybody be back here at 3. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we got a 2-hour lunch, or we get a full hour-and-a-half lunch break. But this little girl, I'm not going to mention her name because I'm not going to put her on blast because we've patched up since. But she said, Frankie, you don't have to be here till 4. We're going to be doing a run through with all the actors, and then we're going to bring the dancers. So you don't have to be here till 4. So I'm over there chilling in the trailer with my boy, I forgot his name, the guy with the funny haircut, and we were blazing mad Buddha. And I get in like 10 minutes, like I get in early, it's like 10 minutes to 4. And the director is cross-armed with Otis Salid looking at me going, you're late. We've already went through the run through and we already took you out of the scene. And I was like, huh? I was told here to be here at 3. She told me. She said, I didn't say nothing. You know, no. You know, when they said to be here, I'm like,
wow.
And I go, that's what happened to the Soul Brothers. Same fucking shit. And I didn't confirm it. I should have went to the AD, the assistant director.
Yeah.
I said, am I supposed to be here at 3 or 4? Just to make sure. But no, my ass.
It was so crazy because with ours, we were fully geared up.
Right.
Head to toe. We had the weapons. Right. We had the shields. It was just, okay, we got this. It's going down. We practicing.
Oh,
they come over there on the set. We are on the set. We're not even late. We said, oh, y'all came too late. Wait a minute. You just told us 30 minutes ago that we were about to start filming. How all of a sudden we late now?
Right.
That's what really hurt.
Yeah.
Man.
Because we knew it was a lie.
Yeah. Dude, that shit hurt me so bad.
The pencil got me.
Oh,
the number 2 pencil. The scratch out with the number 2 pencil got me. At least they could have used pen. They should use a pencil. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that broke my heart.
I put the little time on top. I was like, oh, no, you didn't.
Man, they said we were supposed to be there at 11 in the morning. But they told us and said, did they say like 4 o'clock, Legend?
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
I'll never forget. You guys were supposed to be there at 3, and you guys got there at 2 o'clock thinking you guys were early.
Man.
Sure did.
But you guys were 3 hours late.
Man. And look, it was crazy because they let us walk around the set, chill, get dressed. and everything, and then told us we were late.
Right.
That was the whole part. We were on the set where we were supposed to film, and look, it was dark over there where we were.
Man,
we were like,
trying
there
to
ain't no cameras, nothing over here. Oh, that was crazy. That was the craziest.
So yeah, man, it was good having you, Frankie D. We're gonna wind down because I know V Love got to shoot to the village.
Yeah, I'll be meeting them up there.
No, Frankie D, we bringing you back.
That's
This thing is one and done. OGs are always recurring.
Yeah. There were people up here. Somebody said Dave Williams was like Frankie D with the bomb stories.
Yeah,
we got a couple more stories to tell.
Frankie D, man, it was a pleasure getting that history, knowing now that man got about 30 stripes from 2 stories. So man, it's been lovely, Cuddy.
Yeah, that was a pleasure, bro. You know,
thank you, man.
You know, I have nothing but love and honor for you guys, more than just love and respect. I honor you guys. I've known you guys since you were teenagers. I've watched your movement from day one. You know, I supported it from day one. When people were saying, "Oh, they look old and hip hop ain't gonna go nowhere," I don't know why you hanging around with them. I remember all the pop lockers were saying they're messy, they look old, you know, they're not really Rastas, they're too black, they're too masculine. This is, you know, I was hearing always, you know, like, you know, they're never gonna respect you. You're white. They're never gonna look at you as one of them, and you know, you're just wasting your time. They're gonna be has-beens in about a year.
Yeah,
and how wrong they were, just like about hip hop, they were wrong. And I told them then, you know, the Soul Brothers is going to change the world, and they did. I was absolutely right. Just like I said about a lot of things, and I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, with the crumping, we got to get into all that. We're gonna bring you back for that one, Brody. You got you.
Yeah, one person you guys need to, a couple people you need to bring on this show. I think you should have Miss Prissy on this show with Crucial, because it's 2 generations of the female crumpers. And I think you should have Tampico on the show with another crumper. But Tampico, and the reason why I say
he's
Tampico,
like one of the originators.
Yeah, he's one of the originators, but he's so close. Dude, I don't think there's a crumper that's as close to the Soul Brother vibe as Tampico. You know what I'm talking about, V-Love.
Yeah, he is.
He would have been a Soul Brother if it was, you know what I'm saying? And he has such a connection. I gave him Sons of James Brown. I gave it to him and Miho. And they lost their minds when they saw that. When they saw Sons of James Brown, they were like, I had no idea how much influence they had and how much we looked to them and didn't even know who they were. And they would love to talk about the legends, you know, the research and everything that they've done. And but anyway, the end is I want to big up to everybody, all my dancers out there, all the hip hoppers, all the rappers, MCs, DJs, beat makers, security, lawyers, doctors, bankers, so many, because the Soul Brothers were a movement. Mind you, Soul Brothers was not a dance crew. They were a movement. There were security, there were fighters, skateboarders, dancers, rappers, DJs, you know, V-Love, all of them. They can rap, produce, DJ.
Filmmakers, legend, he did all that.
Yeah,
shit.
All that.
Writing books. We do it all.
Exactly. And as good as you guys are as dancing. Like everybody knows you as dancers, but they don't know that you're just as gifted, if not more gifted, in other areas of hip hop. You guys were a movement of hip hop, not just a dance crew. I like, oh, they dance for Def Jeff. No, it was way.
Yeah, and we had like Grimace said. He said we had a big posse. We had a real big posse.
Oh, huge! It was like
at least like 40 of them.
Oh, there's more than that. When you go into like the movement, when you go into the AM PMs, and you go into the Soul Sisters, and you go into the Manslaughters, and even the affiliates like the Popcorn Chickens and
the rappers and stuff too. It was like rappers,
Straight Aheads, and all the rappers.
Yeah.
The security,
Funky Town Bros,
And I didn't even go. And I didn't go into the promoters, like people like Cool Dre and Howard Lynch and rest in peace Emperor Al and rest in peace G-Bone and you know, because they were like part of the Soul Brother experience because they were bringing you guys into shit when other people were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were.
So in a way, you know, even Alonzo and so many people. I mean, you guys used to rehearse at Alonzo's spot before NWA was even a group. You know what I'm saying? You guys were with Alonzo. You know, so you know, it was just I mean, this history is so long, bro, and I've been part of it. I'm so glad that I've been in it since dedicated since 1985. I was introduced to it in 1980, dedicated from 85, and I love you guys with the bottom of my heart, with all of my spirit. I can't express it enough. I salute both you gentlemen. You know, V-Love, me and Ledge, you know, when we were crying in the the hospital room, we looked at each other and said, we're not going to let this man go. We're going to do everything we can to bring this man back. And when he comes back, we're not going to do what we did before and just kind of like, oh, that's just Vance. Oh, that's just V-Love. No. And V-Love, you have above and beyond shown us your real spirit. But prior to your heart condition, we were all in a weird, strange place. But after your heart condition, I think we all started healing with you. Not just you, but we healed. Like my heart is in a different place today than it was 3 years ago. And I have to commend you. Your strength and your spirit is amazing. And Legend, you already know your talent, what you've contributed, your mind, the intelligence, the movement of legendary Shabazz is above and beyond. And I salute both of you brothers, like to the highest. You know what I'm saying?
Well, man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could sit here all day and go to but that's basically it. And Zulu Gremlin, you already know, bro. You are one of the great. You Asia One are probably to me the highest. What do you call it? Ambassadors of the b-boy of hip hop and the b-boy movement. And we need
liked the outfit last night.
Yeah, they got what last night?
I liked his outfit last night. He had like he was almost
showed up last night.
Oh no, that's somebody else. I'm thinking of Zulu Butterfly.
Oh, no, you're talking about Zulu. Yeah. That came out. Yeah.
My bad.
Grim.
Yeah. Zulu Gremlins, yeah.
And big up to Lemert Park. If you people have never been to Lemert Park, I suggest you
it's
go.
popping right now. Y'all got to come out.
Yeah, Lemert Park has got the African market on Sunday. We out there every Saturday night. And on any day or night, the culture of Lemert Park, that's where Project Blow came from. That's where the Lockers used to frequent. That's where Robin Harris and Richard Pryor.
A lot of jazz musicians came through there.
All kinds.
Coltrane played up there.
Yes.
Everybody played up there. Miles Davis.
Fifth Street Dicks and all that stuff.
Fifth Street Dicks.
You know, all the car clubs.
That's the only thing that's missing now. We ain't got that coffee cake shop to stay to 5 in the morning. That's all we need right now to be right back to where it was.
Or the Tommy Burgers. That
what's the name is close to it. He just need to put something in it. Chase spot. Haroon.
That's it. Go to 5 in the morning. It's on.
Yeah.
Yep.
But big up to all you. Big up to Lemert Park. Big up to hip hop. Big up to the SBs. Big up to all the Crumpers, the Rejects.
Franky D.
Thank you, Franky D. Thanks for coming, man.
Hey, thank you, man. And V-Love, I'll see you up at the park. Ledge, I'll see you soon. Love both of you. Double Shaka, West Coast. You know how I do it.
Oh, shot.
Let's go. We out.